You mentioned two interesting things there. Uh, there's a couple of things restricting supply and kind of driving housing prices up. NIMBYism and kind of inefficient tax structures. Can you talk about those two separate things and how they contribute to the housing crisis?
Sure. So I will start with NIMBYism. NIMBYism is it stands for not in my backyard. Back in like the 1970s, it referred more to things like industrial projects going in a neighborhood, but then it kind of evolved into residents really being opposed to any kind of development in a neighborhood. So you buy a home in a certain area, maybe all the homes are single family homes. Um, there aren't any shadows in your backyard from taller buildings. You have a view of, say, the lake. Nothing's blocking it. And then you start lobbying to protect that, to make sure that no large apartment buildings go in that might block your view or cast a shadow, even if it means that housing for everybody else is unaffordable and inaccessible. So it's kind of just basically a shorthand for, I think, being kind of selfish, valuing your property value, your view, your neighborhood character that you want more than building a neighborhood that is welcome for all people or for more people to be able to afford and live in. So unfortunately, NIMBYism, it's like a consequence of, I think, incentives. Homeowners are incentivized to protect themselves, not to think about things more at a larger level. We could address that. I'll pivot into with a land value tax. So a land value tax is basically the idea that you extract the value of the land and redistribute it back to a community, because nobody really owns the land, right? I mean, I guess maybe that's debatable, but it's based on the idea that we all collectively own the land. And so if you build on a certain plot of land, you should be paying some kind of rent for using that land. Anything you do in terms of the structure would be yours. We wouldn't tax that with a land value tax as opposed to a property tax. So you can build whatever you want, but the land value has to be shared. And the way that that can actually combat NIMBYism is that you would want to get the most value out of your land by building perhaps more housing on your land, instead of just letting the land stay as a single family home. And if you didn't want to do that, then you would more likely want to move somewhere else where the land value tax was lower, where you wouldn't be impeding on other people's ability to get the full value of the land.